We are now joined for a bit more analysis ahead of tomorrow's vote by Nyeleng Morusi, who's a data scientist at the CSIR. And Nyeleng, very good to have you with us. Welcome. Now, you saw us going through some of those tweets there, and I think the key word there is sentiment and how people are feeling. They tweet about what they want, what they will be voting for. Do you think a tool like Twitter is overlooked in calculating public sentiment and how that equates to what we might be seeing for these elections?
I wouldn't say it's been overlooked. I think actually if you look at the top three political parties, they've actually gone out and driven a very social media based campaign. So I wouldn't say they've done that. And we've got some really good examples of when sentiment analysis was used effectively in analyzing political campaigns. For example, in the 2012 elections in Kenya, where they actually used the sentiment analysis to figure out where the hotspots are for probable violent riots. But there is a bit of a drawback, especially in using sentiment analysis in the country like South Africa, because a lot of these tools, once again, are built on dictionaries. They're built on English dictionary, British English and American dictionary. When you come to a country such as South Africa with such a diversity of language, trying to understand automatically derived meaning from a tweet becomes very tricky. Already language is very tricky in understanding meaning, and now you're trying to automate it with a computer.
All right, Nyeleng, I'm going to have to pause this interview because I'm getting reports of visuals of our Cyril Ramaphosa, the Deputy President, who's at the IEC at the moment. So those are the visuals that are coming through now. We will, of course, continue with our interview. All right, we will keep you updated with what's happening outside. We can see Cyril Ramaphosa walking around. He's coming for his tour of the IEC. But in the meantime, let's continue talking about this public sentiment. And as you say, you can gauge those hotspots. Assuming that you've got all of the information captured correctly with the users' demographics, with those hotspots, with sentiment, can you start looking at predictions already?
Predictions are tricky because a lot of the predictive analytics, any that would be deployed, are going to be systems that you understand the structure of the data. So once you know what the demographics are, if you have properly captured what people are likely vote for, then yes, then you can have really good predictions. But without capturing what the electoral demographics looks like, it can be very tricky. But I know there is a team actually from the CSIR that has built a predictive machinery for this, and these tools are being deployed in many other areas for doing so. It's been done. It just needs a little bit more fine-tuning.
All right. Yes. And just to let our viewers know that the Deputy President is currently voting at a school in Hyde Park. He's casting his special vote, so that's what's going on there at the moment. Okay, so bringing it back to this, so there's a definite correlation, or is there a definite correlation between what the Twitter sphere, if I can call it that, what it maps in terms of public sentiment and predictions, and what actually happens in reality?
Yeah, no, that's a little bit more tricky. So one of the things that's very important also with Twitter is representation. So how many of the people are being captured on social media, and who's being captured? And you will find that, especially like in South Africa, we've got a map up there, and you see the metropolitan areas up and alive, but there's a whole chunk of the country that we're not seeing. But even the ones that are up and alive, who is that? It's probably people that are younger. It's probably people that are below 40, and there is a chunk of other voters, and it's probably people that just are anyway okay with having a lot of their life out in the public, because that's what being on social media can mean.
So how important, I mean, you're a data scientist, so how important is this kind of data in political campaigning? Because if you look at somebody like Barack Obama in the United States, he definitely had, or part of his success in his campaign was getting that Twitter sphere alive with his campaign.
Yes.
So have we seen that here?
In South Africa, it's been very alive. We have the ANC, we have EFF, we have DA very alive on Twitter. They've been talking to the people. We've got trends of them whenever they hold their rallies. We hear them talking out and live. Like, for example, if you look at Twitter's, like on the 31st, right there on the graph, you get to see this jump, and that was August 31st. These were the rallies that were being held. So the politician, the parties are talking to the people, and the people are talking about the politicians. So you can see trends also about the politicians themselves. If you see up there, so that's about Malema and Zuma. So it's very alive, the chatter. But even more, what's even important is that there's been a conversation, and this is not the first time we're seeing this in South Africa. For example, the city of Tshwane is perfect at this. You tweet to them, they respond right back to you, and this has become a front for people to communicate. So I can't say that just by looking at tweets you'll know how people are going to vote, but you have an option of the political companies getting to meet their electorates, the ones that they wouldn't have got to meet without traveling to all these areas. Because on social media, we share our lives, we share our friends, we share what we do, and everything like that. So you can use that information to then campaign, have targeted campaigns.
All right, and just to once again let our viewers know, we're getting live visuals now of the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, casting his special vote, so we can see that happening now live. And of course, this is happening in Hyde Park, at a school in Hyde Park, the Deputy President. And of course, we know that the special votes are closing in a few hours' time on the second day of special voting. So we have Cyril Ramaphosa casting his special vote now. All right, Inyaleng, what can we look for in terms of tweets changing over the past few weeks as we get closer to Election Day? Has there been a marked change? And what will you be looking for as a data scientist from tomorrow?
Well, I think some of the things, for now, if you start off from just looking at trends, one of the quick things that you can use this data coming in from is, for example, to meet the needs at each polling station. Because people are going to stand in line, and if the line is slow or something like that, they're going to be tweeting about it. Or if something really exciting happening there, they're going to be tweeting about it. And so from then, we can actually capture that data and in the future improve upon our services of how we run elections based on some of the trends that we captured in this election.
All right, Inyaleng, thank you very much. Inyaleng Morusi, our data scientist at the CSIR, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Natasha.
All right, well, let's take you back now to those visuals of the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, casting his special vote in Hyde Park.
All right, there you go. Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa in a school in Hyde Park casting his vote in the local government elections. Of course, he's been quite vocal about what the ANC has in store for the country should the ANC take that inevitable winning. And of course, you know, the Deputy President, of course, pushing in much of the sentiment that we've seen over the past 2 months, saying that the ANC wants to end all forms of corruption, assuring supporters, just like the President Zuma did, saying that the ANC will lead municipalities and encourage them to spend their budgets only on essential services. That was a remark made by President Jacob Zuma in a rally at Ellis Park over the weekend. The Deputy President also very strong on the fact that they will only deploy qualified and appropriate people at municipalities. He's been very heavy on the campaign trail across the country in South Africa ahead of this major poll. So he's got those papers in his hands. He now proceeds just to end that voting process. Cyril Ramaphosa, the Deputy President of the country, in the ballot box in Hyde Park. So we'll hand back now to Johannesburg.